I couldn't even begin to guess.
One of his kids.
I don't really know.
Spouses,
I don't really know enough about James Brown
one
like
of the
that
dancers,
to even try to
one
make
of the people in the band.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be like a girlfriend, ex-wife, wife kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Just strictly based on statistics,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most likely.
Plus, they'd be the person that could get the closest to him.
Yeah, and just generally, that's who it is. Mm-hmm. Usually, that's who it is.
All right, I see where y'all going. I'm gonna say it was the manager, somebody like that.
See, I would not say the manager because that's your meal ticket,
Right. And here's the thing: post James Brown's death, he hasn't gotten any or remained as popular.
Right.
So there's nothing in it for him.
Yeah, no incentive to get rid of
because the estate's not that strong. It's people. It is people that's in their mid-20s that will say who's James Brown.
That's true. I'm here for this though. I want to see what this white woman came with all the evidence. I want to see what she has to say. I want to see what she brought out.
I'm sure you do. Conspiracy is right up your alley.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I mean, when I saw this story, I was like, when I see certain stories, I think about you guys. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw this, I definitely thought about Dee Dee.
No lie.
She don't love this.
Dino, you put this in the chat. I read this whole
No, I think Pip put it in the chat.
Whoever put it in the chat, I read this whole article, top to bottom.
Okay.
Top to bottom. Yeah. And was looking for more. Like,
Clues.
It's not a part 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting.
It's a short one.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I speaking of funerals, I attended a funeral this weekend. I told you guys last week or the week before last about my really good friend passed away. We just had his funeral. And oh my God, it was long. You talk about it was like 3 hours.
That is too long.
That's long for a funeral. But in any case, it was a trip because I saw a couple of other friends from that I have that I go back with, like him, and we were just talking about how fast life goes by, and the older you get, the more you start losing people, and how sad it is. My heart goes out to my friend's family. Not only did they lose him, but in the last 6 months, they lost him, they lost his mother, and real close to him, they lost his sister. His sister's funeral was. His was Friday. His sister's was Saturday.
Wow. Oh, my word.
Yeah. So that family, my heart goes out to them. That's horrible.
I said my regards to their family and to you too, Dino.
Thank you.
Your close friend.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of Friends, on a happier note, we got some Friends news. The popular television show from the 90s and 2000s. They're back. They have a special coming back.
Uh-oh.
So they have teamed up with HBO Max, which is a new yet another streaming service. This HBO Max is a product of Warner Brothers. So it's going to have their catalog. I'm not sure how much original content is going to be on there. I don't know if it's going to be more like Disney Plus, where it just has a huge library. And then they have maybe 1 or 2, original contents, but they're basically trying to hook you with their massive library. I'm not sure. But anyway, Friends has been taken down off of Netflix all this year and hasn't been on there. And it was since it's been down, the sales, digital and physical, have tripled for it. And and so HBO Max teamed up with them.
That's crazy because Friends, I feel like it's on all the time on some channel.
24/7.
I know, but you don't want to watch commercials.
It's teamed up with them and to kind of head up their launch of their streaming service, and they are going to have a live unscripted special with all 6 of the original cast members.
Live unscripted special?
Yeah.
So not an episode of the show, just a special.
I think it's going to be an episode, but I think it's going to be ad-lib, like unscripted. That's what,
this sounds like a train wreck.
Not very clear, but
I'm in.
I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Yeah, so that's coming up soon. Look for that. When is that coming? I don't know. I didn't catch that detail for some reason. And other TV news. Janet DuBois better known as Walona. Good Times. Walona Woods has passed away at 74. She died peacefully in her sleep.
Good.
So, yes.
And her last television appearance was on that when they did Good Times live.
Okay.
And she came out with Jimmy Walker and oh my God, what's
Ralph Carter?
Yeah, and played Thelma. They all came out. Anyway, she looked great then. Yeah. And so I'm glad she got that last hurrah in too.
Yes.
Before her passing.
Yeah.
She looked fantastic.
All that. I was actually on the phone with my aunt when the news came. And my aunt, I was on the phone with my aunt, and she was like, Walona died. Dee Dee, Walona died. And I was like, Auntie, what? And she was like, yeah, the lady who plays Walona, she died. And I was like, that is so sad.
Well, it's so funny that she say it like that, but not funny because she was so beloved. Everyone thought they felt like they knew her.
And my auntie loves that show. She still watches reruns on all the, the old networks that still play those shows. So she was like, oh, she had to get off the phone with me.
And her particular character, which was just a side character, the neighbor next door that came in for some bits and giggles here and there, ended up being like the lead of the show for several years. So she was fantastic, and people also remember that she wrote the theme to the Jeffersons.
Oh wow!
And sang
yes, yep. She sure
wow!
Did.
Yeah,
and I don't know. For me, this is the type of death that's the least sad. She had a nice, wonderful, full life. She lived to a nice age, and she just died in her sleep. You know what I mean? Like no suffering, no pain. Just she, didn't get murdered,
right?
Didn't get hit by a car. She just went to sleep and passed on. That's like it don't get no better than that.
Ask for,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It don't get no better than that.
Yeah,
it don't get no better than that.
You can't have asked for anything better than that.
And again, also she went out. She never had any like major scandals in her career. She was never disgraced. Good for you.
Yep. Okay. So real quick, backtrack to the Friends thing. It's untitled, unscripted special. Will air May 2020.
Okay, I'm passing on that then.
So why?
Because I thought if it was an unscripted like show, like an episode, I would want to see that because it sounds like it would be terrible, and I would hate watch it.
Okay,
but if it's just a special with the cast, I don't care.
Yeah, they're just gonna be talking about themselves
and showing clips from the show. I can watch. I mean, no thanks.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably exactly what it will be. I'm still gonna watch it though.
If I was a bigger fan of the show. They came on the same time as Living Single came on, so I already had that show in my lexicon, and it actually had black people on it.
I was a huge Friends fan. I was in college at the time, and it was my show.
I watched Friends and Living Single. Definitely more Living Single than Friends, but I don't think Living Single lasted as long as Friends did.
I watched both as well, and I was the opposite though. I watched more Friends than Living Single. For me, I don't. I'm the age of those characters. I was going through what they were going through at the same time as they were going through because I was just post college, and I was like, I don't know anybody like these people. So, I didn't hate it. I still watch it, and I definitely have laughed at it. Love the character of Joey, but just wasn't my jam. I have the same thing about Will and Grace. Will and Grace was so popular. I loved it when it first came on, and then some of those middle seasons, I'm out.
Loved Will and Grace.
I liked Will and Grace too.
Love Will and Grace. And one of my my English teacher was on that show.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was on that show. So it was like
who was he?
Double great. He played like some season pop in.
Okay, he wasn't a reoccurring.
No.
A guy in my show right now was on Will and Grace.
Yeah,
he's in the Janet Jackson episode. He plays the choreographer.
Oh, wow.
And Matt Crabtree was on Will and Grace. He plays the stage manager when Britney Spears is on the show.
My teacher was on the episode that J-Lo was in, that Jennifer Lopez was in, on the subway.
Okay. 3 pop stars,
you
3
see
friends.
What I'm saying? The circle is small.
So in Indonesia, there's an alligator. A crocodile. There's a crocodile that is running around with a tie around its neck, has been for years, and now they're offering a reward for anyone to remove it.
Okay, so
this has been going on since 2016.
Wow.
I remember this story. I even posted the story, but some of the details are lost on me. Wasn't there like a storm that all these tires or something like that ended up like in the wild?
The story I read, they just said that the crocodile survived like a tsunami and a storm or something like that.
And that's how he got the tire around his neck.
I don't know. The story I read didn't say that that's how he got the tire on it. They said he survived it, but yet he has this tire on his like he survived it even though he has the tire on his neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not because he has the tire on his neck. But I would think that the tire kept him buoyant.
Well, yeah, I guess they just mean it's, harder for him to hunt and everything else because he's got this big tire on his neck. And they said they've, a couple people, some experts, whatever, given it a try. But they never said how much this reward is.
Right.
And I feel like if this was anywhere like Australia, someplace like that, they been would have got that thing. All you got to do is hit him with a few tranks.
That's what I was thinking.
Hit him with a few tranks when he goes to sleep, then cut the tire off.
Cut the tire off real fast.
That's like, I've seen way more difficult animal rescues pulled off by nobodies. People just wandering around, happen to see an animal in distress and trouble, and him and a couple of homeboys
had a bright idea,
out.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They figured it out. It's like way more complicated than getting the tire off. Like
That's
I've seen it like so many times. Like
I've seen them shoot tranquilizers into a bear that was in a tree 50 feet in the air.
Yeah, I brought the story up less about the alligator with the tire and more so about the fact that they can't figure out how to get the damn thing off. It's 2016,
right?
It's 2020. You can't get the tire off of a crocodile. Come on now.
Can they not tranquilize it or something?
Well, it's probably some little tiny town.
I was going to say it's probably
don't have resources.
That's the thing. It's probably in some super third, fourth, fifth world, area.
They got blow darts.
And they can borrow some blow darts from the Africans.
Right. Make some. Make some blow darts. Right. Right. Get some blow darts, man.
But yeah, I'm like, it's definitely about resources because it ain't that complicated. Mm-hmm. Like, just put the dude. Well, he's not little. He's like 14 feet.
Yeah.
He's big.
When I was in Costa Rica, I did one of those like crocodile tours.
Okay.
Which was great. And then the guy gets out there and he feeds the crocodile chicken and he pets it. And I'm like, y'all crazy.
Right? Exactly.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
They do it every day, all day. But that's also why the crocodiles like them because they just sit there free chicken.
Raw chicken.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I seen one of those in Florida too when I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No. Crazy.
Yeah. So, an American Airlines passenger was threatened after being harassed.
This
is a crazy story.
It is. You know this story, Dijon?
No, I don't.
Okay. Because there's a viral video when it was everywhere. I mean, it was definitely all over Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen it.
So, okay, what happens is, you want to tell?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so there's this lady on the plane, American Airlines, and behind her, the passenger behind her, immediately behind her, is constantly and consistently punching her chair because she has it in the recline position.
Oh, wow.
Right? So she records it with her phone. The stewardess finds out about it. Instead of dealing with the guy who's harassing her, she goes into battle against the victim.
Wow.
And starts threatening her. She actually gives her this form that says that she doesn't, well, the form doesn't say that, but she's telling her that if she doesn't delete that video, that she can be kicked off the plane, and she makes all these other threats. And you look at the form, and the form, it says like all this stuff about what you're not allowed to do and what you can get in trouble for. Nothing that the lady did is on there.
Wow.
But she's using this form as like, or not really form, but paper
to intimidate her.
To intimidate her and tell her that she could, whatever. So the lady finally does delete it. But after she gets off the plane, she has an iPhone.
She can restore it.
She put it, she found it in her deleted folders thing, and then she sent it and it went viral.
Yeah.
But she said the thing is that the guy and her had a conversation before. Mm-hmm. And, he was eating. She raised up her seat so he could eat. Mm-hmm. And then after he finished eating, she reclined it back, and then that's when when they got into it, he was like, "Yeah, you raised it up, but then as soon as I finished eating, you put it back down again." Everybody's like, "Well,